What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Night Terror's Titans issue number 2. This is the last of the Night Terror's tie-ins. One more issue left after this. One more final issue, and then Night Terror's is at a close. I tell you what, I am just drained from this entire event. It's like 2 months of it's like 50 comic book issues in 2 months. That's an awful lot, and I'm just excited that we're nearing the end of it. But anyway, so this one takes place immediately where the previous issue left off. We had this girl who they never officially named in the previous issue, but she was kind of designed to look like Donna Troy, but also kind of a little bit like Raven. But Raven was kind of fading out of the issue, if you will. So it was kind of like, oh, maybe this is like her soul self or something, because they never fully gave an answer to who this person was, because they made her look like the old school Raven and Donna Troy. Now we did finally get a reveal of who the character is, and I gotta admit, it was something I really did not really think about or expect. But hey, alas, here it is. But anyway, so we come to find out that it's actually Titan's Tower having a nightmare, and this mysterious female character turns out is the human manifestation of Titan's Tower itself, because as you know, they rebuilt Titan's Tower in Bloodhaven. Now, look at the tower now, and then look at the Bloodhaven prison. I legitimately, it's like they would have had to tear down the whole thing and then built this whole thing up from scratch. So how is she still manifesting the prison unless it's just the area? Why don't they do some sort of exorcism or that to kind of whisk away evil spirits and all that, to kind of give all this stuff some peace? But I don't know, they decided to build it in Bloodhaven to make it a symbol of peace or whatever. But yeah, so she also goes by the name of Joanne, by the way. So also Raven has kind of been as you can see here, she's trying to protect the various Titans members there from the horrors of the Nightmare Realm, trying to do the best she can. But eventually she kind of succumbs to it herself, and then she falls asleep as well. And of course, like I said, Joanne's there, and they face off against nightmarish versions of themselves. And we also get kind of a nightmarish version of Raven, which looks really cool. I mean, look at this art right here in this little section. I think that looked pretty cool. But yeah, so Joanne, if you will, like I said, she looked like a former female prisoner, and it's up to her and Raven and that to kind of set things right. And eventually they kind of wake up out of the dream realm, and then they're off to go help in Night Terror's night sentence. So yeah, the main character of the story was actually Titan's Tower, which I thought was actually a pretty unique twist that I legitimately didn't expect, because it was so odd that this character wasn't really named in the previous issue. So sometimes you gotta wait for the follow-up issue to see how they things turn out, because I wasn't really on board so much with some of the stuff within the first issue. I'm like, why aren't they naming this character? Why does this character look like this? It's kind of utter confusion. And for new readers or just kind of anyone jumping into the story, it's well, then who is this? Then, which I think if they made her look really kind of distinctly different from the others, as opposed to looking kind of similar to Titan's characters that we've seen before, it would have kind of helped sell that this is a different person better, because I think that kind of hurt the first issue a little bit. But kind of knowing the reveal now and kind of going back in and looking at the first issue, it kind of makes it a little bit more interesting. This is the spirit of Titan's Tower. So like I said, the twist I thought was pretty cool. It's not something I would have seen coming, because, well, I mean, just the way the character is kind of designed, and it's this is the Titans book, and you're kind of throwing in a character who looks could be either one of these two characters on the roster, and I'm just is this so-and-so? It, like I said, that probably would have helped if we learned that at the end of the first issue. But hey, you know what, we learned it in the second issue. But all things considered, I thought the twist itself was kind of unique, and I thought there was some pretty great looking artwork in this particular issue. Now, does it really set things up for an exciting conclusion, Night Terror's Night's End? I mean, I guess it'll be okay. I mean, the Titans are going to show up and maybe have a few lines, but only time will kind of tell. I mean, boy, there's been a lot of times to this event, I tell you what, because a lot of them aren't really going to continue onward. I know Action Comics will have some sort of connective tissue to it. Looks like Angel Breaker will. Looks like Titans will. And various other tie-ins, because some of them are just kind of just two and done storylines that aren't really going to be followed up anywhere. But Titans itself is one that is gonna sort of potentially have some sort of impact on the next issue, but it's not really like some necessary bits of information. And in fact, I don't even really know if this is going to be a bit of a focal point going forward, because you have the fact that Titan's Tower itself had a dream and has kind of a human manifestation station there, if that's going to play a factor in the upcoming run, the continued run from Tom Taylor, because, well, but honestly, I don't really know, because Tom Taylor didn't write this issue. Is he going to kind of follow up with it? Because this still takes place within the continuity of, like, the main Titans book. So only time will tell. But, yeah, so all things considered, the twist I thought was pretty cool. It definitely kind of retroactively helps the previous issue a little bit. I do think if they would have helped, like, kind of make the character, like, distinctly different looking, because again, when different artists take over the book, you're just kind of assuming, okay, so this is a Titans book. I know Raven's going to be, and I know this character is going to be in it, blah, blah, blah. So it must be this character. But I think they should have done things to kind of, like, make the character design a little bit different to kind of help sell that it was a different character at first. Because again, it adds to some sort of confusion. So, but like I said, I like the twist element to the issue, and it's kind of weird that, like, a Titans book, like, the focal point of this, like, 2-issue Night Terrors, like, tie-in is Titan's Tower itself. But hey, you know what? At least, like I said, it was a unique twist. Do I think it's really necessary reading for the Night Terrors event? No, not really. Is it the most absolutely exciting story I've seen in Night Terrors? Not necessarily, but it did have the most interesting twist, so I'll give the issue that. So, but outside of the twist, it's just kind of all right, I suppose. Nothing bad, but nothing truly spectacular. I mean, there's some really good artwork in here, and like I said, the twist is an interesting one. But I don't think it's necessarily required reading if you want to kind of get the gist of Night Terrors. But hey, it could have been a lot worse. I've seen weaker issues within this Night Terrors event, and I've seen some that I think are pretty good. But hey, you know what? I'm just relieved that I'm officially done with all the tie-ins. I'm just kind of relieved at this point. Like I said, it's kind of late right now, and I just finished reading this, and I just wanted to kind of get my quick thoughts across with the issue. But, I mean, for a Titans issue, it's not half bad. I mean, the characters are fine. There's nothing really obnoxious or totally annoying about it, because, like I said, it's just the Titans fighting in a nightmare realm. So, like, comparatively speaking, it's really not half bad. So maybe Titans fans will really enjoy it. Maybe they'll just be like, it's, just kind of okay. But, hey, you know what? It is something. So there you go. Those are my quick, long-winded thoughts on Night Terrors Titans issue number 2. Officially done with all the tie-ins of Night Terrors. I got one final issue next week, and then we can celebrate because this event will finally be at its end. My goodness. That's like, I think it's 48 issues or something like that for a 2-month event, like in terms of like comic books I've covered. So yeah, it is quite a bit. But you know what? It was an adventurous journey. Like, I feel like I went on this big grand adventure. I hope DC doesn't do an event like this again, though. I think that's a bit, like, heavy in terms of issues. I know they're going to go next month and kind of do some other events, but I'm just going to be kind of relieved when Night Terrors finally reaches its end. But, yeah, so anyways, that's all I got to say. That'll be it for the comic book reviews for this week. Like I said, just 6. So, I mean, it feels kind of smaller than the last couple weeks, but hey, 6 is still a good chunk of stuff. Be sure to come back tomorrow. I'm going to be on Nerd Cage Live. So be sure to check that out. It's going to be a fun little live stream. And then this week, I will also be posting my Godzilla Fest video. So look forward to all that stuff. All right, well, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace. Also, before I forget, I don't know if I credited the artist and writer, but so the comic book was written by Andrew Constant and art by Scott Godlewski. So I just have to make sure I credit that before the issues. I don't know if I did that or not, because like I said, it's kind of late when I recorded this and I'm kind of tired. So yeah, but anyways, thanks so much for watching. Peace out, everyone. Have a fantastic night.